It's the end of the homestand before the D-backs head out on a long road swing. A chance to close it out with a series win today in the finale against Milwaukee. So join us for some afternoon baseball, the D-backs and the Brewers on Fox Sports Arizona. And good afternoon from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthew, Bob Renly along the way. The losing streak ended last night. Today, a chance to close out this homestand with a series win, and Matt Cook gets the baseball for the D-backs. Bob, as Jimmy Sherfy might say, great dude.
Great dude, yeah. I don't know if surprised is the right word, but Matt Cook has really filled in well in the rotation with all the injuries the Diamondbacks have suffered this year. He's been a guy that's just stepped up, takes the ball every start, and pounds that strike zone. A 2-1 record, ERA under 2.5. Coming off probably his best outing of the year, went 8 innings when they really needed some length out of the starter.
And for the first time in 4 starts, he will not be facing a Cy Young winner as Brandon Woodruff gets the start for Milwaukee.
Brandon Woodruff, 4 appearances out of the bullpen, a couple of starts, one against the Cubs, one against the Rockies. In those 2 starts, he got banged around pretty good, gave up 13 hits and 9 runs in 6 2/3.
Oh, getaway day matinee, the D-backs and the Brewers on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Gila River Hotels and Casinos, the card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. And by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. Well, is today the day the offense finally breaks out? They snapped the losing streak last night. Matt Cook gets the baseball today. And the first pitch is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. It's hot outside, nice and comfortable inside Chase Field. Welcome indoors, Steve Berthune, Bob Renly, and Kate Longworth with you. The series and homestand finale, the D-backs and the Milwaukee Brewers, who start today 7 over 500, a half game behind the Pirates for the NL Central lead. Pittsburgh has already beaten the White Sox today. And here's your Milwaukee batting order. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
A couple of changes at the bottom of the order for Craig Counsell today. They'll lead it off with Lorenzo Cain in center field, Christian Yelich out in left field, Jesus Aguilar at first base, Travis Shaw across the diamond at third, Domingo Santana out in right field with Jonathan Villar at second base, Tyler Saladino at shortstop today, Jet Bandy doing the catching for right-hander Brandon Woodruff.
It's getaway day. They call it that for a reason. We're on an airplane after this one before the start of a long 3-city, 2-coast trip. New York, Milwaukee, and then Oakland. So Ketel Marte and company looking to close things out with a series win against the Brewers. And your Ram truck starter for the D-backs today is Matt Cook, 27-year-old right-hander. Matt has pitched extremely well in Taijuan Walker's rotation spot. 5 starts. He's given up a total of only 9 earned runs.
He's just glad to be looking into that other dugout and does not see a former Cy Young winner. As you mentioned, 3 starts in a row against former Cy Young winners. The last time out against Max Scherzer and the Nationals went 8 strong innings when the bullpen really needed a rest. Gave up 3 runs and 7 hits in that game, but was outstanding, pounding that strike zone.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense this afternoon.
Gerard Dyson getting the nod in center field today. David Peralta will be in left. Steven Souza Jr. over in right field to be Descalso and Ahmed on the left side of the infield. Marte and Goldschmidt on the right side. Alex Avila doing the catching for right-hander Matt Cook.
Jeremy Rehak has the balls and strikes today. He's our plate umpire. The crew chief, Bill Miller, is at first base. Todd Tischner's at second, and Alan Porter is the third base ump today. And before we get going, Bob, time for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, hopefully the Diamondbacks offense will be a bunch of wild and crazy guys. The Diamondbacks are having a theme trip going to New York. The guys were free to dress up like characters or actors from the Saturday Night Live show.
Some of these guys have ordered their outfits or costumes about a week or 2 in advance, so who knows what we'll see on the plane after this one later today. So it's Matt Cook against the Brewers, and Lorenzo Cain will lead it off for Milwaukee. Cain batting .276 with 5 homers. He is hitless in the series. Fastball just missed down and away. Cain 0 for 8 with a walk. He came into this series with a 5-game hitting streak. He's been quiet at the top of the lineup for Craig Counsell. Awkward landing there. Gets the strike call. It's 2-1.
Yeah, he needs some red cleats like Ketel Marte. Man, those things are nuclear right there.
Shoes Marte. Got the swag going today. Yeah, that's next level.
Yeah, it is.
There's the cutter for Matt Cook, and he's back even 2-2. Christian Yelich on deck. Jesus Aguilar after that. Trouble locating the fastball for Matt Cook, a leadoff walk.
Yeah, Cookie seems to be having a lot of trouble with the landing spot out there on the mound. On several of those deliveries, he immediately looked back to the landing spot, started digging away at the dirt, just trying to find the comfort level he can land on that front foot and find the strike zone.
Cain down there with 9 stolen bases. Here's Yelich, 298. He's got 3 home runs. He's had a good series. Gets the call from Jeremy Rehak. 0-1.
I mentioned in Matt Cook's last start, the bullpen was really gassed, and they needed some length out of the Diamondbacks right-hander. He gave him 8 strong innings. The bullpen is pretty good shape right now. Yoshi Hirano probably the only guy Torrey would like to stay away from today, but with an off day tomorrow, everybody is available today if Matt Cook needs relief.
And the big back end 3, Hirano, Bradley, Boxberger, all worked 1 inning in the ball game last night. Boxberger picked up save number 12. There's Yoshi. Got 3 outs on 10 pitches. Kane still holding in first. Changeup got away from Cook that time. 2-1.
Matt Cook does unload the ball relatively quick to home plate. Not a legitimate slide step, but not a big leg kick either. Somewhere in the middle, and so far Lorenzo Cain's had trouble reading that move to home plate.
Matt's had trouble locating 9 pitches, only 3 strikes. Lorenzo Cain inching away from the bag at first. Oh, he was going and then stopped. I think he panicked. He got such a good jump. A look of frustration on the part of Lorenzo Cain right there. Carlos Subero, don't worry about it.
Boy, how many times have we seen Diamondbacks base runners do that? That's the McKay factor. They get such a big jump they can't believe it.
Well, they may have something on Matt Cook then. Have to keep a close eye on that today.
You're getting a pretty healthy lead over there. I know that.
2-2 on Christian Yelich. And he got another terrific jump. Cain steps off, and they can't complete the out. It kicks away from Ahmed. So it ends up working out for Lorenzo Cain, but they had him dead to rights there.
I'm not sure if they have anything on Matt Cook or whether Lorenzo Cain's just guessing. He just took off while Cookie was standing there. And Nick just clanked that ball. Looked like an easy out at second base, and Nick Ahmed just didn't make the catch.
A missed opportunity for the D-backs. They score that a stolen base, the 10th of the year for Lorenzo Cain. Here's the 2-2 to Yelich. That stays fair for Avila. Cain stays put, 1 out. Jesus Aguilar doubled in last night's game. His only hit in the series. 310 with 3 homers.
With Aguilar at the plate, the Diamondbacks don't go into a full pull shift on the infield, but Ketel Marte is shaded up the middle of the field. Hopefully that will help in holding Lorenzo Cain closer to the bag out there.
It might also distract Aguilar if those shoes are in his line of sight. Fastball's in there, 0-1. Cutter sailed on Matt Cook. Matt this season averaging 92 miles per hour with his fastball. It's not really a swing and miss fastball, but he's been locating it very well. We've not seen that so far yet today. Marte backs off at second, and now Cook steps off. Got that breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, fouled right off the grill that time of Alex Avila. Right between the eyes.
That's the Matt Cook breaking ball. It sometimes looks like a slider. Sometimes you could call it a curveball. It's really sort of a slurve. He's done a nice job mixing up the cutter, the breaking ball, and the changeup this year. Ahead of Aguilar, 1-2. Travis Shaw, the cleanup man, on deck. Kane at second and 1 out.
Little cat and mouse going on out there at second base. Before that last pitch, Lorenzo Cain was looking to his right over to his third base coach Ed Cedar, maybe looking over to Daniel Descalso or Nick Ahmed, but anyway, he was looking to his right, and Marte very sneakily kind of snuck over behind Cain where he couldn't see him out of his peripheral vision, but then retreated back to his position as the ball was thrown. Playing hide and seek out there.
Hard to do with those shoes. There he is, lurking. 1-2 is a Cunner in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jesus Aguilar.
You talk about a double play combo up the middle of the field, the shortstop and second baseman. They can also work together to distract a base runner. You know, Nick Ahmed kind of sneak up into the baseline and carry on a conversation with Cain, get him to turn his back on Ketel Marte and then try to pick him off.
This is popped up shallow right center. Souza makes a sliding grab. Steven Souza Jr. out number 2.
Well, Marte was not going to get there. We showed you he was shaded up the middle of the field. Steven Souza Jr. the only defender that could make a play, and nice sliding catch out there for the second out of the inning.
He is a well above average defensive outfielder, Steven Souza Jr. Marte is back out there deep on the outfield grass at second for Travis Shaw, the third baseman. 242 and 9 home runs. He leads Milwaukee in homers and RBIs. There's a look at the defense against him. Ahmed just over there on the first base side of second. First pitch changeup from Cook. 0-1. Shaw drove in the Brewers' only run last night, an RBI double against Zach Greinke. And that's his only hit in the series. He's walked twice. That one is belted toward the right field foul pole, and it's high off the pole, gone for a 2-run home run. Travis Shaw, and Milwaukee takes an early lead.
The only question there was fair or foul, and unfortunately banged high off that right field foul pole. Oh, Shaw gets a 90-mile-an-hour heater, inner third of the plate, mid thighs. Everybody in the white uniforms rooting for that ball to hook foul. Everybody in the blue unis happy that it hit the pole.
Boy, not getting Cain out when they had him dead to rights at second base, really comes back to bite the D-backs. Here's Domingo Santana. And this one is launched deep to left field and gone. Santana makes it 3-0 Brewers. They go back to back.
Couple of loud home runs here. Shaw long to right field, and now Domingo Santana squares run up to left center field, way out of here. Every pitch has to have a purpose. I imagine Matt Cook's a little upset the mistake he made to Travis Shaw, but don't compound it by making another mistake to the next hitter.
21 pitches already. Still one more out to get. Here's Jonathan Villar. The second baseman looks at strike one. 272. He's homered twice. Homered here Monday night. Second of the year for Domingo Santana. He hit 30 last year. 0-2 on VR. Missed upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, the good news, partner, is the Diamondbacks offense is going to break out today. So 3 runs in the first is nothing.
Nothing for these wild and crazy guys. Here's the breaking ball.
A lot of our younger viewers are going to have to YouTube Wild and Crazy Guys to see what the heck we're talking about. Of course, Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd, a couple of characters that they used to play on Saturday Night Live back in the day.
Way back.
Way back. Like those 2 home runs.
Jeremy Rehak will check the mask.
Is he old enough to umpire in Major Leagues?
I was just wondering. I'd like to see some ID, please.
Man. Appears to be okay. Took one off the side of the mask that time. Kind of spun it around, but he appears to be none the worse for wear.
Jeremy Rehak, really only a couple of games into his Major League Baseball career, made his big league debut last month. So he's a newcomer to the big leagues. Behind the plate today. 2-2 on VR. Long first inning for Matt Cook, approaching 30 pitches. The shortstop Saladino on deck. 3-2 on VR. And we'll keep going. He shoots that the other way into left field.
Shortstop, number 13, Saladino.
Mike Butcher. This is the first time we've seen Matt Cook really in any kind of jeopardy or long inning like this. He's been so tremendously efficient. I think we've become a little bit spoiled. And remember, he's only got a handful of big league starts on his resume.
His command appears to be off just a little bit today, and you know, he doesn't have overpowering velocity with that fastball. His breaking ball's not a snapdragon swing and a miss pitch, so he's got to be pretty fine with his command, and at least here in the first inning having trouble hitting his spots.
In his previous 5 starts, he'd given up a total of only 9 earned runs, but he's already given up 3 here. And now Saladino, the 7th man in the Brewer lineup, bats in the first inning. in there at shortstop for Orlando Arcia. 6 for 16 between the White Sox and the Brewers. And Villar's another guy that'll run on. He's got 7 stolen bases this year. He led the majors a couple of years ago with 62 steals. A 30-pitch first for Matt Cook.
Matt Cook has been really good in day games this year. 2-0 with a 1.88 ERA in day games. That will obviously go up.
That's got to be a thing, though. I mean, baseball players by nature are such creatures of habit. You get a 12:40 start thrown at you in the middle of the week. It just sends everybody off kilter a bit. I'm sure some guys perform better than others in these circumstances.
Oh, sure.
High fly ball backs up Souza in right field, just shy of the warning track. And that ends the inning. Brewers go back to back. They lead it 3-0. Need an early lead for your Ram truck starting pitcher for the Brewers. It's Brandon Woodruff, 25-year-old right-hander. He's been up and down from the minors 3 times already this year, working both in the bullpen and the rotation.
Fastball slider changeup combination from Woodruff. The fastball around the mid-90s, occasionally reach the upper 90s. His slider's his go-to pitch, especially against right-handed hitters.
David Peralta leads it off for the D-backs. Seventh appearance with the Brewers this season for Brandon Woodruff, only his 3rd start. David batting .287. He's got 7 home runs. Singled in his first at bat last night, his only hit in the series. Up the middle, Saladino in there at shortstop today. One away. Here's the D-backs lineup. It's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
David Peralta once again leading off out in left field. Gerard Dyson making his way to the plate out in center. Daniel Descalso, last night's hero, at third base. Paul Goldschmidt down at first. Steven Souza Jr. in right field with Ketel Marte at second. Alex Avila doing the catching. Nick Ahmed at shortstop, and Matt Cook, the right-hander, on the mound.
Gerard Dyson in center field today. 184. He's homered twice. Dyson batting second, meaning Torey Lovullo has 3 lefties all in a row at the top of his lineup. Peralta, Dyson, Descalso. Bunts that foul. It's 1-1.
Two batters into the game and no shift yet.
Just saw Travis Shaw look into the dugout, say stay right there on the grass. After that Dyson bunt attempt. .95 from Woodruff. He throws hard. He averages 96 miles an hour with his fastball and throws it about 65% of the time. So a lot of fastballs. There's the changeup. He's kind of got a relief pitcher's repertoire. Just 3 pitches. He's worked mostly as a starter in the minor leagues. Descalso on deck. 3-1 on Dyson. Fastball in, showed up as a strike, so it's full 3-2.
Occasionally as a hitter you kind of lose your perspective on that inside corner of the plate when everything you see is away, 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 away. He finally comes inside with a fastball and you're not quite sure if it's on the corner or not.
Fastball misses low. Dyson's aboard. Let's take a look at Milwaukee's defense. A look around the diamond is brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Left to right across the outfield, it'll be Yelich, Kane, and Santana. Third to first across the infield, Travis Shaw, Tyler Saladino, Jonathan Villar, and Jesus Aguilar. Jet Bandy doing the catching today for right-hander Brandon Woodruff.
Last night's hero, Daniel Descalso. 262, 4 home runs, and that 1 hit was the game winner last night. The RBI single in the 8th inning. Dyson 5 for 6 in his stolen base attempts this year.
The Brewers have been excessive in checking potential base stealers over there at first base, throwing over multiple times, altering their delivery to home plate, holding the ball out there on the mound.
Well, after Dyson came on to pinch run for Jeff Mathis in that 8th inning, Williams threw over there about a dozen times trying to keep him close. And eventually John Ryan Murphy bunted Dyson to second. He came home on the Descalso RBI knock.
Just out of VR's reach into right field, scoring Gerard Dyson.
That was one of the big plays in the game, John Ryan Murphy. After Torey Lovullo had taken the bunt sign off with 2 strikes, John Ryan decided that was his best chance to move Dyson along and bunted anyway. And it worked out.
Bunted a neck-high fastball way out over the plate, but somehow managed to get it down on the ground and move that runner into scoring position.
And David Peralta had a ground ball to second, moved Dyson to third. They gave Chris Owings the free pass, and Descalso had the big hit.
Get him on, get him over, get him in.
0-1 on Daniel. Dyson holding. Changeup missed. It's all about the matchups. Craig Counsell liked the lefty on lefty. For Descalso, a little better than he liked pitching to Chris Owings last night. Worked out in the D-backs' favor. Dyson holds. Fastball is in there. 1-2. Daniel didn't like the call, but that was a good pitch. Brewers leave the entire left side of the infield wide open for Descalso. See if he can maybe shoot one the other way here.
I think he's going to get a fastball away right here. Should be a pitch that he could possibly go that way with. And it was down.
95 from Woodruff, and it's 2-2. Goldie on deck in the cleanup spot again today. Hopefully this is the last game this year the D-backs play without Jake Lamb. Speaking of batting order spots, Jake continues a minor league rehab assignment with Visalia, and fingers crossed everybody's hoping he'll be back in time for Friday's game against the Mets in New York.
Boy, that could be a serious difference maker if Jake Lamb can hit the ground running. And of course, there's a possibility it may take him a while to adjust to the speed of Major League Baseball again, but all signs are pointing for him coming back on this road trip.
He's got a game at Lancaster today.
He might hit 3 bombs. Wind always blows out in Lancaster to right field.
Well, they could use all the help they can get. They get Jacob deGrom in that series opener at Citi Field on Friday. 2-2. Dyson takes off. Descalso hits a fly ball. Right field. And that ball is gone. Daniel Descalso. The D-backs are back within 1. Is everybody okay down there? He has been unbelievable.
Inner third fastball for Daniel Descalso. Got just enough to sneak it over that fence out there in right field.
So Descalso's 5th of the year makes it 3-2.
Play nice.
Jumbo Jack. Free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Here's Goldie. Maybe the D-backs can go back to back. Slider misses low. Paul hitting .213. He's got 4 home runs.
Well, this is one of the few at bats I can remember in the past couple weeks where Goldie wasn't in the hole 0-1 after the first pitch.
Hits it into the shift. Saladino, the shortstop. Two down for Steven Souza Jr. Steven at 139 in his first 11 games with the D-backs. 0 for 3 last night. Couple of hits, including an RBI double in Monday's opener. Just like for Goldie, Milwaukee puts 3 infielders on the left side against the right-hand batter. Souza down 0-2. Got him on a breaking ball, but Daniel Descalso's 5th of the year pulls the D-backs back within 1. Descalso out to right. We head to the second. D-backs trail at 3-2.
with Matt Cook on the mound. And so far this season, we've seen Matt battle with the best of them, from Kershaw to Verlander and Scherzer. However, today he's faced a little adversity, letting up 2 home runs into the first inning. But if you ask Torrey, the outing that impressed him the most with Cook this spring was not one when he was extra dominating. It was actually one when he was losing a little bit of his command and getting hit around. And he said what he liked about Cook is he kept his composure, never deviated from his game plan, just the same demeanor out there, inning in and inning out. And he also compared him pregame today, guys, to his cool, calm, collected demeanor to that of Daniel Descalso. We know how that's paid off for the Diamondbacks, so we'll see how this works in Cook's favor.
Well, it sure has, Kate. Absolutely. Here's Jet Bandy, the Brewers catcher. Mound presence is always the first thing Torrey mentions when asked about Matt Cook. Bandy 185 and a homer. Popped out as a pinch hitter last night. D-backs have 3 infielders on the left side. Dave McKay responsible for positioning the outfield defense. Jet Bandy from the University of Arizona. Once a 31st round pick by the Angels out of U of A. He's from Thousand Oaks, California. That's a mile up in the air for Goldie.
And yes, Jet is his name. It's a combination of his father John and his grandfather Chester, who everybody called Chet, so they combined the John and the Chet and came up with Jet.
His dad John was a bartender. You know how they always have those expert consultants on movies? You know, they bring guys in to coach up actors and stuff. He's the guy that taught Tom Cruise how to flip those bottles up in the air in the movie Cocktail.
Oh, there you go.
John Bandy. Check the credits. Here's Brandon Woodruff, the pitcher. Technical advisor, I think they call him. Who would play you in a movie?
Have to think about that.
Take your time. We got all day. You could serve as an advisor on some of these baseball movies. Here's a high chopper for Marte. Woodruff hustles up the line, 2 outs.
While I'm thinking about that, I want Diamondbacks fans to think about this. The day after every D-backs win, you get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Your staff is writing down some suggestions.
Yeah, they're suggesting Bill Cowher play me.
Well, that's typecasting, frankly. Kane walked, stole a base, and scored a run. Came home on the Shaw homer. Should have been thrown out at second, a play that really came back to bite the D-backs in that first inning. They had him picked off midway between first and second, but the throw got away from Ahmed. They gave Kane credit with a stolen base. And he came around to score. Already 40 pitches for Matt Cook.
Now, you mentioned Lorenzo Cain picked off first base a couple times in this series, and neither time the Diamondbacks able to get an out at second base. Goldie thought better about making the throw to second right there. He ended up scoring. And then in today's ball game, a quick jump over there. Matt Cook steps off, throws to Nick Ahmed, who can't handle the throw, and he comes around to score on the 2-run homer by Travis Shaw. So a couple of plays that were not made. They weren't errors. They were just plays that were not made. Diamondbacks have only made 1 error in this series. That was a pop-up behind the plate for John Ryan Murphy.
Look out, that one almost clipped Cook, and Kane knocks it into center. Yeah, they call Travis Shaw the mayor of Ding Dong City. And he clanged one off the foul pole, as you just heard there.
The mayor of Ding Dong City.
I just pass along the information. I think he actually has a bobblehead, the mayor of Ding Dong City bobble. Who knew? Christian Yelich 0 for 1.
We'll see if Kane had something in Matt Cook's delivery, or he was just guessing over there at first base when he broke as Matt was just standing out there on the rubber.
Had to convince himself a couple of times to go, it seemed.
We talk a lot about Dave McKay and how adept he is at stealing things from the opposing pitcher. Occasionally your own pitchers fall into some habits, and I'm sure Dave has looked at video of the Diamondbacks pitching staff as well to make sure that none of our guys are falling into bad habits out there on the mound.
This one is hit hard to right. Souza will watch it go. Christian Yelich, another Brewers home run, their third in less than 2 innings. And Milwaukee takes a 5-2 lead.
Boy, that one was a laser beam line drive out of here to right center. Pitch right in the middle of the plate for Christian Yelich. He squares it up. The only question on that one was, is it high enough to get over the fence in right center field? And it just does clear the yellow stripe out there.
Fourth of the season for Yelich. Here's Aguilar, who flied out his first time. Boy, Matt had given up only 5 home runs all year. He's already given up 3 today.
We had more than a few games like this when I was managing the Diamondbacks, and invariably either Gonzo or Gracie would come back into the dugout after a rough inning and start telling everybody they want to slug, we're going to slug. Get your hitting shoes on. They want to put big crooked numbers on the board, we'll put big crooked numbers on the board. Some days they're pitching duels, other days you just got to break out the bats and go to hacking.
Aguilar skies one deep to left. Peralta has room just shy of the wall out there. Another Brewer homer. Yelich's fourth makes it 5-2 Milwaukee. lead at 5-2. You can participate in our D-backs 50-50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery. From home, along with all of us at Chase Field, your chance to win half the pot and help kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle. And stay tuned for the D-backs live post-game show for the winning number. Here's Ketel Marte to lead off the D-backs second against Brandon Woodruff, who's now got a 5-2 lead. All 5 Milwaukee runs so far scored on 2 out home runs. Ketel 0 for 3 last night. That snapped a 6-game hitting streak. Jet Bandy wants this one in the dirt. Left it up. That's something that the Diamondbacks are looking for today from Brandon Woodruff. They've seen a guy, at least some of the reports have anyway, who was prone to making mistakes with his location. Made a bad one there. Got away with it. Here's the 1-2. There's that 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Gets his second strikeout.
Just rushed that one right by Marte up in the zone. As you mentioned before, he's going to throw a lot of fastballs. Now, granted, they may be mid to upper 90s at times, but Diamondbacks usually tee off on guys that throw lots of fastballs.
Alex Avila behind the plate today. There is some deception with Woodruff. He's got some pitches that fall out of the zone. That slider and changeup. But they're up there looking for location mistakes. They overload the right-hand side against Avila. Now Shaw will move over and trade places with a shortstop, Saladino. Left side wide open, 2-0 on Avila. Well, if you're going to slug and slug, you get 3-0 green lights, don't you?
Yeah, usually.
Second walk issued by Woodruff.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Here's Nick Ahmed, the shortstop. Nick 212 and 6 home runs. He was ready for that first pitch fastball, but missed it. Nick hitless in this series. He knocked in a run with a fly ball in Monday's opener. The pitcher, Matt Cook, will be next. Lays off a slider. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Find a way on there. Matt Cook has shown that he's an aggressive hitter as well as a pitcher. He likes to swing that bat from the left side.
Woodruff got the call with that fastball, and he's back even 2-2.
Try to come in with a fastball right here. Leave it over the plate.
Nick gets it out to right center. Kane drifting over there. 2 outs.
All right, Matt Cook, I've been talking nice about you as a hitter. Don't let me down. I see Matt Cook wearing that number 55. It reminds me when I played with the Giants, we had a pitcher by the name of Alan Ripley that came from the Boston Red Sox to the Giants, and they gave him number 55 when he came to the Giants here in Phoenix, playing AAA initially, and then he got called up to the big leagues. And Rocky said, Rocky Bridges, 55 is an appropriate number because at the time that was the speed limit, and he doesn't throw anything over the speed limit. He was a crafty right-hander.
Alan Ripley.
Yeah. Had a variety of breaking pitches. He could work his fastball both directions, but just didn't have much velocity on anything.
There's the Woodruff slider. Yeah, his highlight appears to be a 9-10 season with the 1980 Gigantes. 2-1. Brandon Woodruff is out of Wheeler, Mississippi. Pitched collegiately at Mississippi State and Stark Vegas. An 11th round draft pick by the Brewers 4 years ago. That fastball's in there. It's 2-2. Another product of a terrific college program at Mississippi State. Peralta hoping to get a chance. Fastball way outside. It's full 3-2. There goes Avila from first. Matt hits a chopper to second. VR cleans it up. And we'll head to the third. The D-backs trail the Brewers 5-2. 5-2. You can get to 40 home games this season for only $80. Use the D-backs Ballpark Summer Pass. It's back this year, but they are going quickly. Very limited quantity still available. Get on online dbacks.com/summer. The best deal in baseball. 40 games for only $80. Come and go as you please.
A lot of kids here at the ballpark today.
Getaway day matinee. We fly to New York after this one. Off day tomorrow. 3 against the Mets at Citi Field, and then 3 against these Brewers at Miller Park. And we finish up in Oakland. It is the Bob Brenly reunion tour. Glenn Sherlock in New York. You get Counts again in Milwaukee. You finish up with Mel in Oakland.
Yeah, Matty's going to be in Oakland. A former teammate of mine, Mike Aldretti. Yeah, reunion week.
Well, it's been a rocky road so far for Matt Cook. He's given up 3 home runs. Brewers have scored all 5 runs on 2-out homers. It started with Travis Shaw in the first. And this one was high off the foul pole in right field.
The Brewers have put 11 balls in play today against Matt Cook. 7 of those have registered 99 miles an hour or higher exit velocity. They're squaring him up real good in the early going.
Skies this one high in the air to right field for Souza near the line. And they retire Shaw to start the 3rd.
It's one of those things for Matt Cook. You just hope he can find a good release point and keep that ball out of the middle of the plate, something he's done so successfully in his previous starts, but making a lot of mistakes over the heart of the plate today.
Domingo Santana. He and Shaw went back-to-back in the first inning. There's a little roller to shortstop. Ahmed cleans it up. 2 outs.
You could use a few of those quick pitch at bats.
Yeah.
After that long first inning.
The second baseman, Jonathan Villar, singled his first time up. Two outs on 3 pitches so far for Matt Cook. I do have some bad news for you. Regarding the next road trip. We're going to miss by only a couple of days, 3 or 4. Travis Shaw, mayor of Ding Dong City Bobblehead Day, which is Sunday, May 27th at Miller Park. There's a swing and a miss. There's the slurve that Matt Cook throws. It's 0-2.
The mayor of Ding Dong City.
Yeah, I think he got that in the minor leagues with the Red Sox, and after he hit 31 last year in Milwaukee, it was official. That was it. That's his nickname. It's a little awkward, but the way he clanged it off the foul pole, it seems to work. There is Mr. Mayor. Last year, career highs, 31 homers, 101 RBIs. His home run in the first inning today is 10th of the year. Fastball in. 2-2 on the Brewers' second baseman. Saladino, the shortstop today, would be next. Boy, Matt has been in or around the strike zone all year. This is the first time we've really seen him scuffle with his command. This is a bouncer over the mound. Close at first. A 9-pitch third. Matt Cook needed that. D-backs down 3.
Hats off for heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
David Peralta leads off the D-backs third against right-hander Brandon Woodruff. Milwaukee leads it 5-2. 3 Brewer home runs already. For the D-backs, Daniel Descalso has a 2-run shot. All the Arizona scoring so far. That's a strike, and it's 1-1. David's hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. He's been very steady at the top of this lineup for Torey Lovullo, really all year long. Two and two. Peralta, Dyson, Descalso, 3 lefties at the top of the order for the D-backs in the third. Brandon Woodruff was absolutely bludgeoned in his last outing. It was a start at Colorado Friday. Gave up 7 runs, 9 hits. He survived only 3 innings.
81 pitches to get through 3 innings in that game.
Welcome to Coors Field. Go get him. He's been up and down for the minor leagues 3 times already this year. That's a good pitch. Fastball down and away, got the corner. And that's his 3rd strikeout.
That's a good pitcher's pitch. Not much David could do with that, even if he swings at it right out there at the bottom of the knees.
Brewers starting rotation just crushed by injuries. Here's Dyson, who walked and scored, came home on the Descalso homer. They are missing right now, the Brewers, most of their starting rotation. It's amazing that they're only a half game back in the NL Central. Chase Anderson had a stomach bug that put him on the DL. Zach Davies has a rotator cuff problem. He's been out since the end of April. Jimmy Nelson has missed the entire year after shoulder trouble late last season. They picked up Wade Miley for some depth. They got him late, but he's out with an oblique strain. So even the backups are hurt for Craig Counsell. 1-1 on Dyson. Descalso will be next. His home run in the first is 5th of the year. That's slap foul. Gerard Dyson had some back tightness over the weekend. Torey wanted him to get one more work day last night, make sure he was through everything, and then be back in there in the starting lineup today. So he's in center. Chris Owings was out there last night. There's a walk to Dyson, his 2nd today. You want to walk Gerard Dyson twice in a ball game. That's generally going to work out pretty well. Coors Light, refreshing finish. Descalso's 5th. At that point, made it a 3-2 Milwaukee lead. Brewers added 2 more on a Yelich homer in the top of the 2nd. 3rd walk for Woodruff.
Yeah, walking the fastest player on the opposing team will not endear you to your catcher. I know that. I remember playing those Bay Bridge Series games, Giants against the Oakland A's, before the regular season would start, right at the end of spring training. And it seemed like every time we played the A's, Ricky Henderson would walk 4 times.
And steal 6 times.
Yeah.
Dyson 5 for 6 in his stolen base attempts this year. Aguilar holds him on the bag at first. Dyson holding that fastball's in there, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Ricky Henderson playing for the A's in 1982, which was my first full year in the major leagues. Stole 130 bases.
That seems like a lot.
That's a lot. Last season, the Angels were the only team in the majors that had more than 130. They had 136. Ricky had 130 by himself.
Look at Shaw, the third baseman, way over there, almost on the right field line. Left side wide open for Daniel. Can't check his swing on that fastball. Woodruff gets his fourth strikeout.
Boy, hitters' eyes just light up when they see those fastballs up there around the letters, but Daniel realized it probably wasn't a good pitch. Tried to check his swing, but could not hold up.
Goldie grounded out his first time up. He's got Dyson at first and 2 outs. Goldie walked and singled last night. He's got 2 hits in the series. Dyson breaks for second. Bandy's throw is offline. Sherrod Dyson in there with his 6th stolen base.
Well, when those premier base stealers get a jump as a catcher, you try to do everything. Watch how quickly Bandy closes that front shoulder, so as soon as he receives the ball, he's ready to unload to second base. But with Dyson's speed, it's not even a play down there.
In scoring position now, a 1-1 count on Paul Goldschmidt. High in the air, shallow left. Saladino drifting out there. And they strand Dyson at second. We head to the 4th. D-backs trail the Brewers 5-2. Milwaukee leads at 5-2. Fans who can't watch the games on TV, stream D-backs live on your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealer. Download the free app. Take Fox Sports Arizona and the D-backs with you wherever you go. Tyler Saladino, the shortstop today, leads off the 4th against Matt Cook. Saladino flying out his first time. Orlando Arcia has the day off. Just the second start at shortstop for Saladino since he was picked up from the White Sox in the middle of last month. Saladino spent his first 3 seasons in Chicago. It was Saladino, of course, who hit the inside the park home run Monday, the play on which A.J. Pollock suffered that avulsion fracture in his left thumb. He's out 4 to 8 weeks. Here's a high fly ball, deep center field. Dyson looking up, backing up, and that ball is gone. Tyler Saladino, the Brewers' 4th home run in 4 innings against Matt Cook, and they lead it 6-2.
Well, the other 3 guys that have homered for the Brewers, you expect to hit home runs when a pitcher makes a mistake over the heart of the plate. Tyler Saladino, not so much, but he bangs that one to straightaway center field for a solo blast.
The catcher, Jet Bandy. There's Mark Hicks down there in left field, our Golden Glover today. The Hick Dog. Bam Bam Balderrama, ready and waiting in right field. Three infielders on the left side for the D-backs. Breaking balls in there, and it's 0-2 on the Brewers catcher. Matt Cook this year in 33 innings had given up 5 homers. He's given up 4 today in less than 4 innings. Still 0-2 on Bandy. The pitcher Woodruff on deck.
We know one of the reasons Torey Lovullo likes Matt Cook so much is because they give him a game plan and he goes out and executes it. But today his command just isn't as good as we've seen in his previous start. So you might have to vary from the game plan a little bit. Where normally you just pound away at that outside corner with cut fastballs, throw some 4-seamers on the inside corner, mix in some of your off-speed pitch. You might have to throw more off-speed pitches to get him off that fastball.
Line to Goldie.
Now, the opposing hitters will tell you whether your game plan is working or not. And so far he's made a lot of mistakes in the middle, and this Brewers team they just haven't missed any of his mistakes. When things are going good, they might pop it up, they might hit it right at somebody. When things are going bad, they square it up and it finds seats.
Shaw, Santana, Yelich, and Saladino all with home runs. Here's Woodruff. Grounded out his first time. Leadoff man Lorenzo Cain on deck. Oh, it almost clipped Cook. Marte gets over there, slides on it, spins and throws. But Woodruff beats it out. Good idea, terrific effort. It almost worked.
Tremendous creativity. I didn't think Marte could get to that ball, but he does with a slide. Shovels on to Nick, who's on his feet and can make a throw to first base.
Wow.
Very close over there. You got to give it up to Brandon Woodruff for hustling down that first baseline.
That was something. 7th hit for Milwaukee. Here's Kane, who has walked, singled, and scored twice. Both times he's come home on home runs.
I would anticipate we're going to see more plays like that moving forward. Both very athletic, the two middle infielders, Marte and Ahmed. And when those balls are hit up the middle like that, as we just saw, Marte left his feet. He realized he had no chance to get the out at first. So, hey, shovel it over to my partner there. He's on his feet.
Kane back legs that one deep left center. Peralta and Dyson. It's Dyson who's got it just shy of the warning track. And Woodruff is standing at third base.
Got a great jump.
There's a double play. Bottom 4 on the way. It's 6-2 Milwaukee.
Baseball history brought to you by Geico. Now we circled the Liberty Bell up there.
Oh, no. No, he didn't.
Atop.
Come on.
Old Veteran Stadium. I'm telling you,
No.
Greg Luzinski
No.
hit the bell.
No. There's no way.
Hey,
Look at that.
that's a blast.
You know who hit the first ever home run at the Vet? Don Money.
Ooh,
How about that?
good answer.
That's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. I mean, Greg Luzinski, he was a big, strong dude. They called him the Bull.
And that's why Bert Hooton looked so grouchy for the rest of his career. They called him Happy because he always looked miserable.
Never smiled, yeah.
Now we know why. That's unbelievable.
And, you know, people in Philadelphia, you know how Philly fans are anyway. They said that, you know, Greg Luzinski had a nice run there in Philly, but when things started to go bad, they blamed it on tasty cakes. They said he was eating too many tasty cakes.
Well, having just been to Philadelphia, I understand. Now he's got a whole thing out there in the right field corner at Citizens Bank Park, the Bull Ring, where they serve brisket and wings and stuff.
Yep.
Steven Souza Jr. leads off the D-backs fourth for Torey Lovullo, Mike Butcher and company. They've been out hit 7-1. They trail at 6-2. Milwaukee's hit 4 home runs in the game so far off Matt Cook.
You know, I don't know if they can retroactively go back and find launch angle and exit velocity, but I'd like to see what it was on that home run.
Wouldn't you?
Oh, my. They said it estimated to go well over 500 feet.
Wow. First pitch slider from Woodruff, 0-1. D-backs have one hit. Descalso, a 2-run homer in the first, his 5th of the year. And that has been all the offense. They won last night's game 2-1 despite getting only 3 base hits. And again, it was Descalso that got the big one, that 2-out RBI single in the 8th inning.
Where that last pitch to Jet Bandy made my shoulder hurt. Those are the ones that kill a catcher, when you have to reach up and back to catch that fastball and it pulls on your rotator cuff. Oh man.
He wanted that slider down, just caught the corner, and Souza got a piece. That'll yank your arm right out of the socket, won't it?
It's okay when you backhand, when you reach across your body. But for some reason, when you go to your left and have to reach up and back to catch that pitch, it just really pulls on that shoulder joint.
Souza strikes out for the 2nd time today, 1 down.
Good slider that time. He hung a couple early in the sequence over the inside part of the plate. That time dots that outside corner.
Here's Ketel Marte in those shoes. Looks like he's ready for the Wizard of Oz in those things.
There's no place like home.
Might be saying that after the end of this next road trip. Although home has not been kind to the D-backs on this homestand. Marte hits a ball deep to center field. Kane backing up. He's under the home run porch, and he's got it. Alex Avila. Avila walked his first time up. With 1 out in the 2nd inning, it was left stranded at first. Brewers with 3 infielders on the right side. Outfield is shaded a bit over toward the left field corner. Torlavello is sticking with Alex Avila. They need him, Torrey says. They're only 6 weeks into the season. This is game number 43. So 6, call it 7 weeks. But they need his bat. 1-1. Alex had that 3-hit game in Philly when he homered. That was April 24th. Since then, he's 2 for 31. Trying to get it going. Torrey today described Alex as a conscientious guy because he's really put in a lot of extra work with the hitting coaches trying to get right. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes that nobody sees. 3-1.
You know, unfortunately, occasionally when a hitter struggles and you spend all that extra time in the cage, your mind gets too cluttered. You're thinking too many things. You're thinking of what Dave Magadan told me earlier today. You're thinking about what you saw on the video on Brandon Woodruff. And as Walter Alston used to say, a full mind is an empty bat. You want to be as blank as you can possibly be when you're in that batter's box. You do your homework in the on deck circle or when you step out of the box. But once you get in the box, it's just about seeing a pitch, recognizing it, and if it's a strike, putting a good swing on it.
Here's Dave Magadan, the hitting coach. Full count, 3-2.
That's why so many times when you hear post-game interviews, when a guy has a big day offensively, gets 4 or 5 hits, maybe hits a couple of home runs, and they'll ask him, what did you hit? I don't know. It was something right there in the strike zone, so I put a good swing on it. Yeah, if you're just reacting to what you see from that pitcher out there on the mound and everything is where it's supposed to be, a lot of times you don't really know what the pitch was. You just recognize strike and put a good swing on it.
Well, Avila takes a walk for the second time today. Fourth walk issued by Woodruff. And here's Nick Ahmed, who flied out his first time up. Can't hold up on the slider. It's 0-1. TJ McFarland starts to get loose in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Matt Cook is out in the on deck circle. Pitchers due up next.
Figures to get a fastball here. We talked about Woodruff earlier in the ball game, especially with a 4-run lead. He's more likely to be aggressive when he's behind in the count. Fastball away.
Back-to-back 3-2 counts for Brandon Woodruff. He lost Avila with 2 outs. Now it's full on Ahmed. Cook is on deck. McFarland warming up in the pen. There goes Avila from first. Got a change up that time and fouled it off. Avila takes off. It'll tap her back to the mound. Woodruff retires Ahmed. And we head to the 5th. The D-backs trail the Brewers 6-2. today. They trail the Brewers 6-2. Valley Toyota dealers, let's go places. We're on an airplane after this one. A long 3-city, 2-coast road trip. 3 against the Mets starting on Friday. Jacob deGrom goes for New York. And then we see these Brewers at Miller Park in Milwaukee. We stop off at America's Dairyland. We finish up jetting out to the coast to see Bob Melvin's Oakland A's. A couple of off days in there on that road trip, so it's going to be a long 10 days or so on the road. And the theme on the flight today, the dress-up theme, is Saturday Night Live. All the players have been ordering their costumes on Amazon and on the WWW for the last week or so. So who knows what we might see on the plane today.
This could be interesting.
Could be ugly. Here's Yelich. A 2-run home run his last time up. Milwaukee's homered 4 times off Matt Cook today. He gets over there to cover that one. Quickly one down.
Might see some land sharks. Candygram.
Candygram. The best one that I've heard, I haven't seen any of them yet. The best one I've heard is Patrick Kirsch will be making the trip. D-back staffer. He'll be dressed up as Burt Reynolds on Jeopardy. His character of Turd Ferguson. Yeah, it's funny. Big hat. It's funny. He got a big foam cowboy hat, he said, for $12 on the internet. So they're invested in this thing. Jesus Aguilar 0 for 2. There it is.
There you go.
Sort of the look. Norm Macdonald's Burt Reynolds character had a much bigger yellow Nerf type hat with the bolo tie and everything. The vest, the leather vest. Mark Reed, the bullpen catcher, is part of Wayne and Garth. I don't know if he's either Wayne or Garth from Wayne's World. That old Saturday Night Live skit that turned into a movie, of course.
Party on.
Yeah, Reeder said, yeah, it's an easy wig. You just throw the wig on and you're pretty much one or the other. I think that would make him Garth. Cook tried the backhander. Marte the dive. It rolls into center. A 1-out single for Aguilar. That's his second hit in the series. Here comes Travis Shaw.
Third baseman, Travis Shaw.
Shaw banged one high off the right field foul pole. His first at bat today, his 10th home run this year. Domingo Santana followed with a solo shot. They went back to back. Then Yelich a 2-run homer in the second. Saladino homer to lead off the fourth. 3 infielders on the right side. There's a strike off the plate. This is hit hard toward the right field corner again. This one's off the bullpen wall out there. Ed Cedar will stop Aguilar at third. Steven Souza Jr. is down on the warning track.
Limping a little bit as he goes back to his position. We've seen Steven Souza lose his footing out there on the warning track several times already since coming off the disabled list. This is just a bullet line drive off the fence out there in right. And Souza got to the ball in good shape and then lost his footing and went to the ground. He gets it back into Goldie to hold the runner at third base.
Oh, that's it for Matt Cook. He leaves trailing 6-2 back after this.
card by Gila River Casinos.
Well, Steven Souza Jr. still walking gingerly out there. He did the splits on the warning track dirt, fielding that liner by Shaw off the bullpen fence. Watch the landing here and the split by Souza.
The left foot slipped first, and then the right foot went right out from under him, landed on his backside, but fortunately for the D-backs, quickly gets to his feet to hold that runner at third base.
He appears to be okay. Nobody came out to take a look. Domingo Santana homered in the first. TJ McFarland ready to give Torrelabello some length onto that bullpen. Aguilar is at third. Shaw's at second and one out. TJ's been a bullpen saver for much of the year's 13th appearance.
.25 2/3 innings in his previous 12 appearances. That'll tell you he's not a lefty specialist. Those lefty specialists pitch 20 games and throw 11 innings.
Yeah, exactly right.
Just come in and get their one lefty or two, and then they get out of the ball game. But TJ McFarland is not a left-handed specialist. He's a guy that can give Torrey as much length as he needs out of that bullpen.
A rough day for Matt Cook. Hit and hit hard. He gave up 4 homers. Not counting Shaw's loud double off the wall in right field. First time we've seen Matt do anything but excel this year. Just one of those days. On the ground over the mound, Marte wanted to come home. He'll get the out at first. Aguilar scores, and it's 7-2.
When McFarland's in the game, you see a lot of ground balls. That one right up the ramp in the front of the mound, but Marte just felt it was too risky a play to try to throw out Aguilar at home plate, so he takes the sure out at first.
Shaw stays at second now. 2 outs for Villar, who is singled and grounded out. He'll spin around and bat right-handed against the lefty McFarland. And this one is fair down the right field line. Villar shoots it the other way. Shaw is home to make it 8-2. It's an RBI double for Jonathan Villar.
Right off the end of the bat, tailing fastball out there on the outside corner, and Villar just drives it down into the right field corner. The Brewers coming into play today hadn't really had much success against left-handed pitching, which is kind of surprising when you look at all the right-handed thump they have in this lineup. They only hit, as a team, .214 against lefties this year.
Tyler Saladino homered deep to center his last time up. Diamondbacks have been out hit 10-1. They trail at 8-2. Both runs given up by TJ here, charged to Matt Cook. So for Matt, that's 8 runs on 9 hits in 4 1/3. High in the air right center, Dyson over there. And that ends the inning. Milwaukee adds 2 more. D-backs trail at 8-2. D-backs trail Milwaukee 8-2. This summer, the World Cup comes to Fox and FS1. Every match is live. Over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. TJ McFarland will lead off the bottom of the fifth. Diamondbacks with only one hit so far. Daniel Descalso's two-run homer in the first that followed a Dyson walk. What especially hurts the D-backs today is that 6 of the Brewers' 8 runs have been scored with 2 outs. They've hit 4 home runs in the game. This is chopped the other way. Saladino at shortstop retires McFarland, 1 down. Here's the leadoff man, David Peralta.
You mentioned the Diamondbacks are going to face Jacob DeGrom rather, in that first game in New York. His last start, in 1 inning, he threw 45 pitches, didn't give up a hit or a run, threw 45 pitches in 1 inning.
That's a clean inning right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and the last time a pitcher had a 45 or more pitch inning and didn't allow a hit or a run, Diamondbacks fans might remember left-hander Nick Bierbrot. Back on June 13th, 2001. I had to look it up. I vaguely remembered this. He struck out the first 2 hitters. Now, it took him 12 pitches to do it, but he struck out the first 2 hitters in the first inning. Then walked Sammy Sosa, walked Ron Coomer. Rondell White reached on an error, and then he struck out Julio Zaleta to end the inning, but he ended up throwing 48 pitches to get through the first inning after striking out the first 2 guys.
That's a workmanlike inning.
Whew. Boy, Nick Bierbrot was one of those young pitchers that really had a promising future. The Diamondbacks were really banking on Nick Bierbrot and John Patterson being the 2 anchors of the starting rotation for years and years, and it just didn't work out. Injury problems for both guys, and John Patterson ended up having a pretty nice career, bounced around a little bit, pitching out of the rotation in the bullpen, but just not the top of the rotation guys that everybody thought they were going to be. You could throw Brad Penny into that mix too. Brad Penny ended up having a real good career, but he came up with the Diamondbacks and was going to be part of that 3-headed monster at the top of the rotation.
Starting pitching prospects, you just never know.
You just don't know.
2-2 on Peralta. Got him on a changeup. 6 strikeouts for Woodruff. 2 down in the 5th.
Yeah, 3rd time through the order. See if Woodruff starts to mix in some more off-speed pitches. It's been mostly fastball slider up until now.
Dyson has walked twice. He's scored a run. He's stolen a base. Playing center field and batting second today. Another change up there from Woodruff. 1-1.
fouls off that bunt attempt. I still think that's something that Dyson ought to do at least once a game. Especially if you get some of these exaggerated defenses. You got guys playing out of position. You maybe have a pitcher that falls off to the third base side. You know, whatever the situation may be, look for that bunt base hit at least once a game.
One and two. Couple of change ups, then he got a 96-mile-an-hour fastball in on the hands. Lifted in the air, right center, Lorenzo Cain. And Woodruff works a 1-2-3 fifth. He leads it 8-2. Milwaukee as we start the 6th inning. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. We fly after the ball game to New York City. Off day tomorrow. First of 3 against the Mets at Citi Field on Friday. Zach Godley against Jacob deGrom. Patrick Corbett against Steven Matz. The Mets have juggled their rotation a bit. They wanted to split up deGrom and Syndergaard, so we get Thor on Sunday. Now keep in mind there's an off day tomorrow. And there's another off day next week, so the rotation, they've got some flexibility if they want to move some pieces around the D-backs, so we'll see how that plays itself out. But Godley and deGrom starting on Friday. Here's the catcher Jet Bandy to lead off the Milwaukee 6th against TJ McFarland. On in relief of Matt Cook, who had a rough time here today.
Yeah, and the weather could have something to say with who starts those ball games in New York. We're supposed to get hammered with rain throughout the entire weekend, so we'll see which games you get in. You don't want to lose a starting pitcher to a rain out. Have him get warmed up, maybe even start the ball game, and then have the rains come and lose that start for the day.
Yeah, the rain might jam up Keith Hernandez's book tour as well.
Yeah.
He's been on every show in town out there. He's got a new book, Keith. He takes his cat with him everywhere. Have you seen him on the social media?
I've missed that.
He takes a lot of pictures with his cat. We'll have to ask him about that. And here I am getting the paper with the cat, and here's the cat and I going to lunch, and here's the cat and I signing books. 0-2. DJ goes to the slider, strikes out Bandy. Yeah, the forecast I think was 90% chance of rain Friday, 100% chance Saturday. Sunday, rain. We always get rain when we go to New York. You notice that?
It helps wash the city.
It could use it.
Yes.
Woodruff, the pitcher, singled his last time up. And decided to go first to third on a long fly ball out to center.
Got a great jump.
Sure did.
Turned the corner well at second base. Unfortunately for him, there was only 2 outs in the inning.
So that turned into a double play to win the 4th.
Yeah, you know what they say, partner. The farmers need the rain. There's nothing growing within 50 miles of Central Park.
Oh, there's tomatoes out there. Don't they have tomato plants somewhere? People have gardens. I don't know.
They used to at Shea, I know. They had a tomato garden in the bullpen.
I think all the bad weather goes to New Jersey, where Phil Malika, our former director, used to live. Good to see Phil here this week working some Brewer games.
Well, we know there's always a black cloud over his head.
Yes,
so.
it usually follows Phil around.
Yeah, occasionally we see some precipitation out of those black clouds.
Line to Goldie at first. Boy, Woodruff's hit the ball hard twice today. 2 down. There's Lorenzo Cain, who has walked, singled, and scored twice. He's also picked up a stolen base. Was not a good day for the Mets today. They were at home against the Blue Jays and lost 12-1. A lot of talk about Yoenis Cespedes. May or may not have to go on the DL. He's got an injury apparently. Sandy Alderson talking a lot about that before the game today.
Is it bad enough to hurt his golf game?
Well, that's the real concern for Yoenis. You think he goes out and golfs with that neon green sleeve he wears?
I'm scared to think about what he might wear on a golf course.
You know, he stopped playing golf. They asked him to stop, and he did, and then he went into a giant slump. So I think he and Mickey Callaway have worked that out. Trying to find some moderation with the golf game.
Just came across the wire.
Really?
An hour ago, the Mets placed Cespedes on the DL with right hip strain.
Timely as today's headlines. Second walk today for Lorenzo Cain. That'll bring up Yelich, who homered in the second. Every time I go to New York, I think about the what's known in our booth as the Kirk Neuenhuis game.
Yeah.
Years ago, he had 3 homers in a game against the D-backs at Citi Field. I think he had 4 for the year.
I think you're right.
Every time the Diamondbacks took a lead, Kirk Neuenhuis would come up and hit a home run. I think he hit 2 of them off Ruby De La Rosa, if I recall. Could be wrong.
One of my lasting memories of going to New York as a player, old Shea Stadium, the visiting clubhouse attendant Tony Carullo used to bring in homemade Italian food that his mother made. Oh my goodness.
That's a good New York clubhouse guy name.
Yeah, Tony Carullo.
Mama Carullo. What was her specialty?
Oh, you name it. I mean, everything was great. All works off the sauce, you know.
Well, yeah.
Good Italian food. And there's a lot of retired players out there that played at Shea Stadium, and visiting teams used to roll in there. And Tony was way ahead of his time. He had like a little video cave in the visiting clubhouse where, you know, if you wanted to take a little nap or something before the game, he had some couches back there and a big screen TV, and you could go back there and watch a movie. And some of the retired players that have been to the visiting clubhouse in Shea know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you mean. 2-1.
They do.
Yeah, I'm sure. I just remember Shea Stadium as having the world's worst media elevator. The size of a phone booth. Never worked, and there'd always been like 9 big overweight sports writers trying to get on at the same time. Just never went well. Two and two on Yelich.
And that broadcast booth at Old Shea, it felt like you were in a World War I pillbox, just looking out of a little slit at the field in front of you.
Blow the whistle, you go right over the top.
You know, they used to have heaters on the ceiling of the press box. That's where Ron Santos' hairpiece caught on fire one day when he stood up for the anthem and got a little too close to the heater on the ceiling. And,
that wasn't a rug. Still 2 and 2. That's a funny story. His hairpiece caught on fire from the heat lamp in the booth. Oh, that's why they had to build a new ballpark.
Yeah, I think that was the main reason.
Yeah, that was it. Sent him over the edge. There goes Lorenzo Cain, interrupts a chat with Goldie down there. Lorenzo Cain had his back to home plate and was chatting up Goldie and suddenly realized, oh, I'm supposed to run. They were having a grand old time down there.
Well, 3-2 with 2 outs. He decided, why even face home plate? If Goldie's going to pick me off, I'm going to know it.
And there he goes. I think Goldie said, and now go. Look, they're still going to run that way. That's an unusual.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah. This is popped up very shallow center. Dyson calls everybody off, and they strand the 2-out walk. D-backs trail the Brewers 8-2. To 2. Fans, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand at home, at the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium. That lets you watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details. New pitcher for Milwaukee. One-time D-back Matt Albers, who was briefly a Diamondback for part of the 2012 season, had a very good year last year pitching out of the Washington Nationals bullpen, where he made 63 appearances, signed a free agent deal with Milwaukee in the offseason. Here he is to face Daniel Descalso. Descalso has the Diamondbacks' only base hit today. A 2-run home run in the first inning after a Dyson walk. D-backs last night won the game 2-1 despite getting only 3 hits. So far only 1 hit today. They had 5 hits in the loss Monday. Fly ball to center. Lorenzo Cain onto the warning track. 1 out. Boy, Matt Albers was terrific for the Nationals last year. 63 appearances and a 1.62 ERA. 63 strikeouts in 61 innings. Been very good so far for the Brewers this year. Goldie 0 for 2. Matt Albers was part of the Trevor Bauer deal at the end of the 2012 season. 3-team trade with the D-backs, the Indians, and the Reds. Diamondbacks got Didi Gregorius in that deal. Lars Anderson and Tony Sipp as well.
Speaking of Trevor Bauer, the Indians shut out the Tigers 6-0 today. Bauer went 8 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 10, didn't walk a batter.
1-1 to Goldie. Yeah, you can't mention the Tiger losses. The truck gets upset. A lot of Michigan guys back there.
I enjoy that.
Ouch. And take 3. Floats a slider in there. 2-2.
Well, I've told you about my buddies over at the Convenient Corner Deli.
Oh yeah, how's that going this year? You leaving them tickets again?
Yeah, I have, but they don't mention the Tigers nearly as much this year as they have in the past.
Well, they could talk about, well, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Really.
Saladino backhands it, long throw, and they get Goldie at first. Nice play there. Tyler Saladino in for Orlando Arce at shortstop today.
Very nice play right there. Goes to a slide, plants that right foot, comes up and throws just in time to get Goldie over there. That throw had a little arc in it that time.
Steven Souza Jr. has struck out twice, 0 for 2. Brewers keep the shift on. 3 infielders on the left side. Slider missed away. 1-0.
Another outstanding pitching performance underway. Bartolo Colon, the ageless wonder, 7 2/3, 4 hits, no runs against the Mariners today.
That's pitching for the Texas Rangers. Rangers have a 1-0 lead in the 8th inning. He can pitch till he's 50. I absolutely believe that.
All he throws is fastballs.
You're going to have some clunkers along the way, but he still gets guys out. I think he and Matt Albers are on a similar training program as well.
Double meal money.
Hey, whatever Matt Albers is doing, don't fix it, because he's been really good lately.
Yeah, we brought up the name Rick Russell an awful lot here in the booth. Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Yeah, Albers kind of reminds me of him a little bit physically, and the fact he just pounds that sinker in there. Here, hit this on the ground.
2 balls and 1 strike. Albers struck me as a cart guy, but he did not take the bullpen card in. Have not seen a Brewers pitcher do that. The Nationals guys seem to enjoy it. Sean Doolittle. Ketel Marte hoping to get a chance. He's 0 for 2. Fastball away, and it's full. Broken bat roller. Saladino can't make the bare hand play, and Souza's aboard. Second hit for the Diamondbacks, and their first since the third batter of the ball game.
It looked like Saladino had a little more time than he realized. Tried to make the bare-handed play when I think he had enough time to try to glove that one, but either way it works out well for the Diamondbacks.
Ketel Marte now. He has struck out flat out 0 for 2. Brewers began today a half game behind the Pirates for the National League Central lead. They began this game a half game back. Pittsburgh, by the time we started, had already beaten the White Sox 3-2. So they're right there with St. Louis as well. Cardinals winners at Minnesota 7-5. So Craig Counsell and the boys could use this one. They lead it 8-2 in the 6th. Off the glove of Albers, Saladino changes direction and makes a really nice play at shortstop. And they get Ketel Marte. We'll head to the 7th inning. D-backs trail at 8-2. Hey, grab your lightsaber. Star Wars Day, June 2nd. Get the Paul Solo bobblehead before the D-backs and Marlins 7:10 start, courtesy of Cox Communications. dbacks.com/Star Wars. Now that is in conjunction with a new Solo movie that's coming out about young Han Solo, and that's Goldie in his Han Solo pose, wearing a first baseman's mitt like he did in the movie. Wait, what? No?
I might have actually seen some of those movies if he had a baseball glove.
Yeah, you have you ever seen any of them at all, ever?
I think I saw the original Star Wars when it initially came out, but it just didn't hit a nerve for me, and I didn't see any of the rest of them.
You just moved on.
Yeah.
Jesus Aguilar leads off the 7th against TJ McFarland. Well, now they make the ones just about the characters. I think they call them standalone movies because they're not part of a trilogy or anything. So every once in a while they sneak one of those out.
If they make a documentary about the making of Star Wars, that I might watch.
Well, they must have done that.
Oh,
somebody
sure.
over the course. Yeah. We'll get you caught up. It's a long flight to New York. You can watch.
Yeah.
You may be able to watch every one on this road trip. As we go to New York, to Milwaukee, to Oakland, and then back here.
Well, we do have an off day in New York tomorrow. There might be a Star Wars festival on somewhere.
You know what? We'll go down to the Village and check it out. 2-2. Aguilar singled and scored in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3. Travis Shaw on deck. He's homered and doubled today. Fastball misses off the plate. It's full 3-2. TJ came on in the 5th inning after Matt Cook was knocked around. Matt gave up 4 home runs in only 4 1/3 innings. Dan Jennings, the left-hander, warming up in the Brewer bullpen. Descalso at third. 1 out. Well, here is the mayor of Ding Dong City, Travis Shaw. He donged one off the foul pole and right his first time up, his 10th home run this year. Doubled and scored his last time up. He's 2 for 3. So Shaw on this Milwaukee road trip, which started with 4 in Colorado, 3 here in Phoenix, has 3 home runs. After this, the Brewers go to Minnesota, 3 games against the Twins at Target Field. Shift is on against Shaw. That one's fouled off, and it's 0-1. Giants hosting the Reds. Boy, the Reds are winning again out west. 6-3. They go to the 8th inning at AT&T Park. Been a tremendous road trip for Cincinnati. They swept 4 in LA. They're beating up on the Giants again today.
Well, the way their season has gone, they probably want to petition MLB to move to Sacramento or somewhere on the West Coast. They're rolling out west. Not so much at Great American Ballpark.
Too many mascots they have over. They got like 4 mascots.
Boy, oh boy.
That's a fair ball. Avila's on it, and they retire Shaw.
Well, Travis Shaw is locked in today. Even the foul balls that he's hit in this game have been squared up and hit hard. TJ McFarland starts him with a sinker inside. He fouled off his own foot and goes away with a fastball, back up and in with a changeup that he pulled way foul, and then the little tapper on a 90-mile-an-hour sinker.
Domingo Santana. He and Shaw hit back-to-back home runs off Matt Cook in the 1st inning. Santana had an RBI ground out his last time up. The first batter TJ faced in the 5th. Sliders in there for strike. 0-1. There is Christian Yelich, who had a 2-run home run in the 2nd inning. It's a Saturday Night Live dress-up theme for the D-backs flight after this ball game, and someone should dress up as Christian Yelich because he's a dead ringer for a Saturday Night Live cast member, Pete Davidson.
Yeah, come to think of it, that's a good call.
That's an internet thing. You can look that up if you don't know what Pete Davidson looks like. I'd also encourage you to check out his Stanley Tucci rap video. Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang. Yeah, they could be twins, those guys.
Well, the way the offense has sputtered recently for the Diamondbacks, they may want to sign Chico Escuela.
Descalso charges that one. TJ works a 1-2-3 7th inning. D-backs trail the Brewers 8-2. To 2. Hey fans, the Chaz Roberts AC giveaway is back. You can nominate a family or a nonprofit organization that needs a brand new air conditioning system by logging on to chazroberts.com/coolplay by June 30th to make your nomination. The Chaz Roberts AC giveaway. It's back this year. They do a tremendous job with that, our friends at Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Bottom 7 here. It's been a quiet day for the D-backs. Only 2 base hits. They trail at 8-2. And here on for the Brewers, the left-hander Dan Jennings, who was let go by Tampa Bay at the end of March and signed up by the Brewers. And he's done a good job. A 2.70 ERA, his 21st appearance.
One of 3 lefties that Craig Counsell has available out of the bullpen. We've seen Josh Hader and Boone Logan in the first 2 games, and now we get Jennings here today in the final game of the series.
I don't want to see Hader anymore. I've seen enough.
Thank you.
He's a handful. Avila has walked twice. He starts the 7th. Brewers have 3 defenders on the right side. And Alex bangs it right into that shift. And they retire Avila to start the 7th. Here's Nick Ahmed now. Nick 0 for 2. D-backs with 2 base hits. Descalso's 2-run home run in the first inning. And then Souza's infield single in the 6th, and that has been all the offense. They've drawn 4 bases on balls. Avila twice, Dyson twice. Dyson scored on the Descalso homer. Jorge De La Rosa, the left-hander, starts to get loose in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Ahmed shoots one to left center field. That one rolls to the wall. And Nick Ahmed is thinking 3. He's in there with a triple. His first this year.
We were talking about earlier, getting a pitch you can handle. He takes a couple of fastballs, one low and away, one low and in, and then gets one center cut and bangs it into that gap in left center field. Well, you love to see that hustle from Nick Ahmed. Trailing by 6 runs in the ball game in the 7th inning. A lot of guys would have broken it down around first base and been content with a double. Not Nick. He ends up at third base with his first triple of the season.
And now Christian Walker comes up. He'll hit for TJ McFarland. Christian 2 for 15 with a home run. Recalled from AAA Reno when AJ Pollock went on the DL with that avulsion fracture in his left thumb. We saw Christian earlier this year hit about, I think it was 479 feet in a long home run off Clayton Kershaw. Back of the second deck out there in left.
I have to say it was a little surprising, not the fact that Christian Walker can hit the ball that far. We know he can, but we've seen a lot of balls that have been struck well here at Chase Field this year that didn't carry quite the way we've seen in past years. But Christian Walker's was just a satellite up into Friday's Front Row Sports Grill.
One and two for Christian. Christian, while he's been with Reno this year, has seen some time in the outfield. He's made 5 starts in left field. He's been primarily a first baseman, but they're trying to develop some defensive flexibility. With AJ Pollock on the shelf, 4 to 8 weeks. One and two. D-backs may have a roster decision to make when we open up the road trip Friday in New York. Hopefully Jake Lamb will be back with the team by then. Jake on a rehab assignment with Class A Visalia right now. And if all continues to go well, they hope he'll be back Friday for that first game against the Mets at Citi Field. That one almost got Nick standing in foul ground. Tony Perez cheek of those quick infield hands.
And we always pointed out that's why runners lead off in foul territory from third base. If Nick would have been hit by that ball in foul territory, it's just a foul ball. If he's standing in fair territory, he would be out.
Standing on the grass right now. Still 1 and 2 on Christian Walker. Got him on a down slider. First strikeout for Jennings, 2 outs.
He missed a couple fastballs earlier in the sequence, and eventually Jennings gets to that hard slider down and in, and Walker swings right over the top.
Well, here's David Peralta, 0 for 3. You know, he's hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. He would probably be a good pick for Beat the Streak today.
You think?
You took him, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Well, you got your chance right here. Here's a fastball, 0-1. What are you up to, 0?
I'm all the way up to 0.
Yeah. Well, the way you and I go with Beat the Streak, that is an improvement.
I had a great day yesterday, though. I picked 2 guys, neither one of them had an at bat.
Nice.
So I got to stay at 0.
It's good strategery. 1-1. Yeah, we have all been the cooler this year. Beat the Streak.
It's been a tough go.
Our friend Andy Fritz was in the booth here yesterday. He said, "You guys got me hooked on that Beat the Streak." Gracie's got involved. He's got a son playing all the time now. 1 and 2. DiMaggio hit safely in 56. We can't even pick guys to hit safely in 2 in a row. One and 2. Nice block by Bandy, a slider in the dirt. Nick Stays put it third. Did you double up today, or are you just on David Peralta?
I already got a hit with Odubel Herrera of the Phillies.
So this would be doubly painful if we don't get a base hit here.
Yeah, go all the way back to 0. Wait.
Reset. 2-2.
Can you go backwards?
Trying to get down. VR is out there. It's back to 0. We go to the 8th, 8-2 Milwaukee. Pass is back, but they are going fast. Get a ticket to 40 home games this year for just $80. It includes big games, Star Wars Day, Father's Day, 4th of July. Limited quantities available. 40 games, $80. The best deal in baseball. Get it online right now. dbacks.com/summer. That's a great deal. You basically get to go to every home game, June, July, and August. $2 a game if you go to every one.
Use our air conditioning. I said it the other day, for those of you new to the Valley, it gets hot here in the summer.
Are you sure?
Yeah, so come on down here and suck up some air conditioning at Chase Field.
Jorge De La Rosa out there to start the 8th inning. Jonathan VR, who has singled. He's got an RBI double, 2 for 3. Leads it off for the Brewers. Milwaukee has out hit the D-backs 10-3. They lead at 8-2. 4 Milwaukee homers today.
A good job today by T.J. McFarland. 2 2/3, gave up only 1 hit, struck out a batter, walked a batter, did not allow a run.
Par for the course for TJ this year. 1-2 on VR.
Ideally, TJ comes in and puts zeros on the board so the offense has a chance to get going, but unfortunately the second part of that equation just hasn't been working.
Well, that has been a recurring theme on this homestand. This series in particular, Monday 2 runs 5 hits, last night 2 runs 3 hits, today 2 runs on 3 hits. I think we need some kind of a ceremony, something. A bat bonfire, somebody do the safety dance on the plane, whatever it takes. Solid 80s reference right there.
Men without hats.
Maybe we should all wear hats. Say anything to get him out of this funk.
You know, I'm sure there's some fans out there saying, boy, they look flat. They really look flat lately. And that happens when you don't hit, when you don't have traffic on the bases and guys running around crazy and the ball bouncing all over the stadium. Everybody looks flat. When you're making quick outs, 1, 2, 3 innings.
It does seem to be contagious.
Well, the good news is hitting is contagious too, and at some point they're going to bust out. You just know it. Too many good hitters, too many good players in this lineup to go through this for very much longer.
Goldie's starting to come out of it. Souza's back in the lineup. Hopefully Jake Lamb returns on Friday. Ketel Marte's looked much better lately. Still 2-2 on VR. Descalso at third, spins and throws.
Yeah, how about this? Daniel Descalso did not have a ball hit to him in the first 6 innings of this game. 3 of the last 4 outs have been 5-3 putouts. They found him down there. Our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing cool play. The backhand spins completely around. Still has plenty of time to fire on for the out.
What an addition he's been. What a player. Tyler Saladino. It's the kind of thing that it doesn't really get on anybody's radar outside Arizona. But then you look at last night, you know, Craig Counsell, how can they not know that Descalso, as clutch as he's been all year, forget lefty on lefty, he was going to get a hit last night after they walked Owens. He was just going to get a hit. And sure enough, first pitch, base hit, 2-1. We're used to that here, but it's funny how that just doesn't seem to register in some of the advance reports or something. But D-backs fans know what this guy's meant to this team this year. Saladino homer deep to center field in the 4th. He's got 2 home runs in this series. The other one was the A.J. Pollock inside the park homer, on which A.J. suffered that fractured thumb Monday night. Steven Souza Jr. in right field. 2 outs. Jet Bandy, the U of A Wildcat. 0 for 3. Got the start behind the plate today. Bandy this spring was out of minor league options, won a backup job at Maryvale when Stephen Vogt went down with a right shoulder problem, and it was learned this week that Vogt is going to miss the entire year. He needs the shoulder surgery. So Bandy's been the backup guy here with Manny Pena from the get-go this year. They're making considerable improvements over there at Maryvale across town. Some of the Brewers brass were over there visiting the other day. Their spring training complex here in Phoenix. Investing a lot of money in clubhouse facilities and some other things.
Well, you know, every year, partner, we see a lot of long home runs in the Cactus League, but I think some of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit are over there in Maryvale. I've seen balls hit over the batter's eye in center field in Maryvale.
Why is that, you think?
I don't know. It's in some kind of a vortex over there.
Lined into the shift. That's the second baseman, Ketel Marte. Bottom 8 on the way. D-backs down 6. Brewers 8-2, bottom of the 8th inning. Plan ahead for Dad while you're gearing up for Mother's Day. Hope you caught that one. If not, call Mom right now. Play catch on the field before the Father's Day game June 17th with our special event package. Limited spaces remain. Visit dbacks.com/dad and you can play catch on the field with Dad Father's Day here at Chase Field. Gerard Dyson set to lead off this inning. Chris Owings will pinch hit as the Brewers send lefty Dan Jennings back out there. So Owings, Descalso, Goldie due up 2, 3, and 4 in the Arizona 8th inning. CO hitless in the series. He was intentionally walked last night. D-backs down to their final 6 outs. Right now they have 2 runs on 3 hits. That means they have, at this moment, 11 hits in this 3-game series. The franchise record for fewest hits in a 3-game series in this ballpark is 12, set recently against the Houston Astros.
Now this 7-game homestand concluding today. They've scored a total of 13 runs. They've hit 174 as a team, 135 with runners in scoring position, and it's been up and down the lineup.
Fewest D-backs hits in any 3-game series. The record is 11, set in April of 09 at San Francisco. The fewest in a 3-game set here at Chase Field or former Bank One ballpark, 12. Earlier this month against Houston, D-backs won 2 of 3 in that series. This is tapped to second for VR. Owings busted up the line, but they get him at first. Daniel Descalso takes on Dan Jennings today by AARP. 2 for 3 in his career against this guy. He's also got a couple of walks. Descalso has been the offense today. A 2-run home run in the first inning, his 5th of the year. The shift is on. Andrew Chafin warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Fastballs in there, 1 and 2.
Jennings, in an odd kind of way, reminds me a little bit of Silvino Bracho. He comes to a set position out there on the mound and just kind of pauses momentarily, and then a real quick lift of the front leg and pumps the hands and fires that ball toward home plate. A little reminiscent of Silvino Bracho and how quickly he unloads the ball to home.
Good slider right there. It's almost kind of a violent movement on the part of the pitcher.
I almost get the feeling he's kind of jumping at you.
Here's Goldie 0 for 3.
Yeah, that bat by Descalso. A couple sliders to start the sequence. That one down low and away. That one for a called strike. Missed up. Well, he actually got the call on that high fastball right there. Another slider in the dirt, and then a slow slider sweeping across the plate for strike 3.
Brewers again line up with 3 infielders on the left side. Aguilar, the only defender midway between first and second. It's been more than a month now since Goldie's last home run. His last homer April 15th at Dodger Stadium. 116 plate appearances without a homer. Out of play, and it's 1-2. We know throughout this, nothing changes in watching Paul go through that sequence right there. It's exactly the same as when he was putting up MVP numbers so many times. Fastball down and away. Jennings gets his third strikeout. We head to the ninth inning. D-backs trail at 8-2. Trail the Brewers 8-2. Milwaukee hit 4 home runs against Matt Cook, who had a rough time of it today. And another day in which the D-backs offense has struggled. Only 2 runs on 3 hits. Daniel Descalso's 2-run home run in the first inning has been all the offense. A whole bunch of changes out there for the Diamondbacks, starting on the mound with the left-hander Andrew Chafin. His 21st appearance of the year. A whole new battery as John Ryan Murphy takes over behind home plate. And Alex Avila moves over to first base.
Andrew Chafin on to work for the 21st time this season. This is a guy that Torey Lovullo would like to get right again. He's had some trouble lately throwing strikes, getting ahead of opposing hitters. Had some very short outings when he came in and didn't get the guys he was supposed to get and had to turn the ball over to the other guys in the bullpen.
Devin Marrero takes over at third for Daniel Descalso. Descalso out in left in place of Peralta. And Owings stays in the game in center field, takes over for Gerard Dyson. Pitcher's spot leads off the Milwaukee ninth. Orlando Arcia will hit for Jennings. First pitch pops it up. Marte drifting out there behind Avila. 1 pitch, 1 out for Chafin.
Unless something changes here in this ninth inning, the Diamondbacks pitching staff today will record 1 strikeout. The lowest strikeout total this season was 4 for the Diamondbacks. The last time they had 1 or fewer strikeouts in a game, you have to go all the way back to August of 2016. TJ McFarland punched out Jet Bandy leading off that 6th inning.
Lorenzo Cain has walked twice, singled, and scored twice. Chafin on the fly. 4-time Gold Glover smirking in the dugout. That's how I do it.
You can smile now.
That one caught him.
Yeah, it did. Good reactions out there by Andrew.
Here's Yelich, who homered in the 2nd. More action in the Brewer bullpen. We saw Jorge Lopez get the final out of the ball game last night. Got Goldie ground out. After the D-backs had taken the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning, Brad Boxberger then got the save in the 9th. 1-2 on Christian Yelich. D-backs in the home half will have Marrero, Marte, and Avila due up. 5, 6, and 7. There's another strikeout. Yelich goes down swinging. Bottom 9 coming up. Two runs on 3 hits was enough to get the D-backs a win. Here today they trail at 8-2 on 2 runs and 3 hits. And the new pitcher for Milwaukee, saw him in the ball game last night, the right-hander Jorge Lopez, his 3rd stint with the Brewers this year, up and down from AAA Colorado Springs. Faced only one batter in the ball game last night. Got Goldie to ground out through only 3 pitches. Diamondbacks lost Monday's series opener 7-2. They had 5 hits in that game. They won last night 2-1. They had 3 hits. And they've got 3 more hits here today so far. So that's 11 for the series. If it stays this way, that will tie the Diamondbacks all-time record for fewest hits in a 3-game series, set in April of '09 at San Francisco. The fewest in a 3-game series for the D-backs here at Chase Field is 12, set earlier this month against the Astros. D-backs took 2 of 3 in that series. Ball 1 to Marrero. Devin at 196 on the year. .95 from Lopez, and it's 1-2. Ketel Marte on deck.
Well, you look at this Brewers bullpen, and they're 2 of the best bullpens in all of baseball here in this series. But the Brewers, everybody that comes out of there is throwing mid to upper 90s, with the exception of Matt Albers, who's got that power sinker slider combination.
Yeah, if they get into the postseason this year, and they just missed last year, you win in the postseason with bullpens, and they've got a good one for Craig Counsell. Pat Murphy, the bench coach, on the right there. Breaking ball got him. Marrero strikes out to start the 9th.
I think looking ahead for the Brewers as we get another look at that strike 3 by Devin Marrero. Kind of fooled by that breaking ball. Too close to take. They got to find a way to beat the Cubs. They're 1-7 against the Cubs this year. As I mentioned the other day, the Brewers have been shut out 8 times this year, 5 times by the Cubs pitching staff.
Going to be hard for them to win the Central if they can't beat the Cubs, that's for sure. Ketel Marte looks at strike 1. Brewers on a 10-game road trip, and it's going very well. They won 3 of 4 in Colorado. They're on the verge of taking 2 of 3 here. And then Craig Counsell's Brew Crew heads to Minnesota, 3 games against the Twins at Target Field to finish up the trip. And in the meantime, the D-backs will head to New York, Milwaukee, and Oakland, searching for their missing offense. It's been slow going on this homestand for Torlovello's boys. Still out front in the National League West. Two and a half ahead of Colorado at the start of play today. A safe distance today between Hernan Perez and Orlando Arcia.
Thank you.
That's trying to stay fair, and it rolls right over the bag.
That's a beautiful thing.
And the D-backs will not set a new record for fewest hits in a 3-game series in this ballpark.
No play over there for Shaw anyway. He was shading way over in the hole between third and short. A little slow roller right down the line, stayed fair.
Alex Avila has walked twice and grounded out 0 for 1. Brewers put the shift on. The entire left side of the infield is wide open. Saladino hustling over there now to close the gap a bit. Marte takes off for second. Brewers defensively indifferent to that. You might be able to categorize some major leaguers over the course of history as defensively indifferent.
Yeah, I was just thinking Manny Ramirez popped to mind immediately. He never made an error. It was always defensive indifference.
Manny would. Fastball, swing and a miss, 1-1.
El Caballo, Carlos Lee was another guy that occasionally would be indifferent defensively. Most of the time.
95 right on the corner, down and away, 1-2. Arte on his way to third. Avila fouls that one away. Almost hit Nick Ahmed in the on deck circle. Giants a final. They lost to the Reds at home today, 6-3. Dodgers have Walker Buehler on the mound later tonight at Miami against the Marlins.
That loss today snaps a 3-game winning streak for the Giants. The Dodgers have lost 5 in a row going into play tonight. That's a saving grace. The Diamondbacks haven't played their best ball over the last couple weeks, but fortunately nobody else in the West has played very well either.
Yeah, the Rockies have closed the gap a bit, but as we mentioned, they just dropped 3 of 4 to these Brewers. Marte in at third now as Avila strikes out.
High velocity fastball just off that outside corner.
Well, it's up to Nick Ahmed. Nick tripled to left center his last time up. His first triple this year. Saladino backhands it at shortstop. And the Brewers win this one 8-2. D-backs drop 2 of 3 in the series to Milwaukee. As the Brewers club 4 home runs in the ball game and win it 8-2.
Well, hopefully a change of scenery is what the Diamondbacks need to get things jump started. Hopefully going to Citi Field in New York will accomplish just that.
Diamondbacks Live, the post-game show is set to get underway. Webby standing by with Todd.
Steve, thank you very much. And Brandon, let's be brutally honest. It was not fun to watch this. I'm sure it wasn't fun to play if you're an Arizona Diamondback, but I just have a thought on this. Over the last couple of years, there are plenty of teams in Major League Baseball that have had more than their share of games like this.
Yes.
Not so for Torey Lovullo and the Arizona Diamondbacks. These games have been an anomaly. You just don't see them very often.
No, you're right. You know, they usually play the close games, and a lot of times you see them coming out ahead of those, close games, one-run games. Today, I felt like the pitching matchup definitely skewed towards the Diamondbacks with Matt Cook and Woodruff, but it didn't happen today.
Well, we still have a job to do. It is Diamondbacks Live, the postgame show, and we'll talk about what happened to Matt Cook, and we'll show you the location of some of the pitches that were hit into the stands here at Chase Field, not where you want those pitches to be against a ball club like the Milwaukee Brewers. So we'll do all that. We'll come back here from manager Torey Lovullo. Kate Longworth is here inside the clubhouse as well. Before the Diamondbacks get on the bus and head to the airport, we've got D-Backs Live presented by CenturyLink, and we'll have it when we come back after these messages.